Hello everyone, I'm here tonight to do a flick through of where I'm at with the Junk Journal July journal. I've still got 4 prompts to do, but I thought I'd give them an update as I've not been doing any daily ones recently. So that's the front. And you may remember, if you've seen any of the other videos, I'm not doing it in the traditional way of 1 page per day per prompt. I'm making a journal and incorporating the prompts throughout the journal using the inspiration prompt kit and the petal fairies kit. Okay. And adding a bit of texture where I can, threads and a bag from some onions or oranges. So my first page is just the actual signatures, and this is made from 4 tissue boxes plus other tissue boxes incorporated into it. I discovered that you can actually peel off a tissue box and get a thin sheet of a pattern, which I've done on this one. I took out a flower, but that's where these gingerbread come from, this one and this one here. That was obviously on the edge of a design, you know, like you get the edge there. But I thought, why not still use him or her? Yeah, it's a him, I think, blue bow tie. And so yeah, that's so we've got a gingerbread one, we've got this flowery one, we've got a lemon one, and we've got the 4 main ones and a rainbow one. So I've 3D'd the butterflies where I can. I hope you can see this. I'm filming outside, it's sunny, so there is the shade which is going to affect this, but when I do a final one I'll probably do it indoors so you can see properly. And that's the next page, as I turn over the tissue box. And then this is where I've incorporated a paper bag, or I've used more than one throughout the journal, but this is one of them. And this pink concertina pleated paper is from a bread bag. It's also paper. And then this is a sweet, sort of like one of those Swedish style bags. And this pink design of the windmill and the leaves are from the bread bag. It looks like this is totally in the shade, so you might not be able to see it. And this windmill is also from the bread bag. It's pink and navy, the bag. And then another paper bag. I've put some of the inspiration kit there so I can write on, and added a fairy. Also write on this one as well. Not left that one blank. Then this is my pick a pocket page, which is the flaps from the tissue boxes. So there's 3 flaps from a rainbow tissue box, and then each one's got a different thing. That's one of my faux tea bags decorated with the fairy kit. That's the flap from the tissue, the opening from the tissue box. And you see that it's sorry, just trying to get the light here. Poor light. I thought it'd be better, but not. And another one from there, and also one of my master boards, because I like to use everything up, so I'm using the whole of the inspiration kit and the petal fay kit papers that I've actually cut into, not the full ones, and any of the bits of brown paper and book pages that I've torn into, and I've just got a pile of scraps, so just keeping the, excuse me, pipping there, horn, you know, keeping all the scraps and then using them. So I've made a master board, and I've also made some handmade paper, and I just keep using the scraps until they're all gone, because handmade paper is a good way of using it. So that's another tissue. And then on this side is a textured page, you know, the rough textured prompt. I've got a few of those pages throughout. This is screwed up chocolate wrapper and then just sort of flattened out so it gives texture, and then a bit of that brown paper to give texture, and then I've just put a die cut fairy on there. That's a flap from a different tissue box, so I can use it like that. So, tip that up so you might be able to see it better. That's from the photo bags that I made. When we had the paper clip, I combined it with string, so we've got a string prompt as well. I've done more than one string thing as well, and I've sort of not crocheted exactly, but sort of knotted around it. So that's one of my things. I've had bits of paper and that under there, just sort of using some of my scraps up, because one of the prompts was they found scraps, so this is some of the bits that was on my desk. And then the back of this tissue box, you've got the other side of the paper clip. Some bits of the prompt kit, I've just pleated those, folded them up. Some of the fairy kit, fairy die, and then that opens out. So I've just decorated each page there. So that's the first signature. And then the second signature, that's use a close label there, some book page, some of the inspiration kit and some of the fairy kit. I put JJJ in one of the actual slides from the kit. And that's the invitation letter I've added in there. And then this page here, you might have seen a better version of it in a previous video. It's 3D, there's all different layers built into it. This was the tissue box opening, and I've just added sort of torn pages and a die cut flower and bits of the inspiration kit and the fairy kit. Okay, and then on this side, I'll pull it into the sun, out of the shade. This is a paper bag. Back to that in a second. So I've got a flap there, and it's a simple circles, found scrap and handwriting page. The circles, I've got these die cut circles which are scalloped shape. I've got a piece of plastic that I found on the floor. I've got some round confetti which I also got on the floor. I happened to walk somewhere where there'd just been a wedding and it was just blowing down the street and there was just piles of it, so I got some off the top, looks all nice and clean. So that's my found scrap, this and those, but it's also my circles page, and I added a bit of my favourite pen handwriting in as well. See, the scrap all through them and other writing, but this combines three there. And then this one is close tag, and then that's from, these are two things what say off the tissue boxes where I've peeled them off and then cut them round, so they're kind of a bit like stickers then, you just glue them on. And then I've used a net bag from Ominges, so I might put some ribbon on that, but I'll just put it there for now. And that's another paper bag, so I've combined paper bags into each of the signatures. And then that's the top of the tissue box, and then I've got cup tags and some couple of sheets of writing paper there. So there's not much writing space, but I've added a little bit. And then on this one, I've got a pocket there. So I've added that from the fairy kit, some bits from the inspiration kit. I got this free calendar, so I've just sort of doodled around July. Of course, we did have a doodle prompt, that's part of my doodling. I did that in there. Sorry about the shade. And that's an envelope that I got from one of the members. That was her first time doing a one of these seals, and I kept it. That's a lovely little handmade envelope. So that can be, something can be put in there, but it doesn't at the moment. And so that's the back of the second signature tissue box. So I put a pocket from the petal fake kit, and then these flaps just fit in perfectly. It's from a lemon tissue box with a bit of writing, and then writing paper and one of my masterboard tags there. And then as you open it up, just a bit from the inspiration kit and the petal fade kit. And then on this one, this was my book scrap page, where I've weaved strips of paper, book page. I think I will add something to that, but I've not done that yet. And this is my third signature, next tissue box. A bit of string, I plaited that string there, so I put, and there's also the end that I cut off, I put underneath the label. There's this bit of string, so that's a string prompt as well. That was where I did the print page, and I've added the fairy on top. And then on this side, I'll move it into the light. There's a pocket there. I'm going to put something else over that chocolate wrapper. I've not done that yet. So I've got a postcard there and a sort of envelope there and a tag there. And then this is another one of my rough texture pages. I've added the label on this one. I've just screwed up some book page there, sort of pleated it, and a bit of the inspiration kit there, just to give it all texture. And I've done the same with the chocolate wrapper there, like I did on the other page, and added bits over it. And this was part of my dotty do page here. I did circles all around this. And there's dotty do, one of the fairies, the tag. And I've got another one of my masterboard tags in there, and another on there. And then this is my bees, birds and butterflies. I really wish the light was better. So we've got a dragonfly, we've got a butterfly there and a butterfly there, a bird on a nest, a bumblebee from the petal fade kit, and a bird out of a book, and another bit from a petal fade, and another bee there. So we've got bees there and butterflies there and birds there and bugs. Well, I just count that as a dragonfly, it's the extra bug. Okay, and that's this is also the old envelope. So this is the decorated envelope. This decoration was already on the envelope. And on this side is a pocket there with a postcard from the petal fade kit, some tags from there, another one of my masterboard tags, another opening from a tissue box. Well, no, just the side of a tissue box. I put a top from a tissue box there, which I put some a stamped image onto a book page of this bird, which I've cut out, and then I put some press release behind it, and I've sort of put them that way, so it's almost like its tail. And then on this side, decorated with petal fade kit and another tag in there. And then the back of this tissue box, I've got a squirrel there on that one. This one I've decorated with a fairy in the middle, some pleated envelope and pleated chocolate bar wrapper. Look at that lovely bird that's on this box. It's just a lovely design. Birds there, so I didn't want to cover them up, just added bits around it. And that's that signature. And then the last signature, this spotty tissue box. I like to show it because it's so nice. I used a rainbow tissue box too, so I put a rainbow there. That's part of the petal fade kit, and I put some of the orange netting behind it from a pack of oranges, that is. A tag in there. Lots more tags in there. Some from the petal fade kit and another one from my masterboard. I used that packaging tag as the actual pocket. The packaging tag wasn't on this page. I just made a nice pocket, the shape of it. And then into the light there. This one, I used this pocket from the kit and added bits in there, bits to write on, another tag, pretty envelope, which this is what came inside the envelope with a letter from somebody from the member of, but I covered that up, the letter, so with part of the inspiration guide. See that can be wrote on. And a little jazz sticker there from an apple I was eating. And on this side is the flower show. And it's 3D and petal faker. And another paper bag. This time with my summer snippet on there. And different bits from seed packets, a bit from the flower kit I've got. And some all different little bits. Another bit of a tissue box. There is, and there's a stamped fairy image there with some threads underneath, so that could count as a string because that was some purple string. So another from this string prompt. I've just got a die cut fairy on that side, and I've been doodling for my doodle prompt there. And then I've opened this, I've put a fairy in the opening of the tissue box. That flap had been cut off before. And then this is my rough texture. I was taking this label off, but it actually tore. But I thought, you know, screw it up, make more of a, stuck it onto some coffee dyed tea dyed paper, just curled it up, and it's got rough texture. And then that little pocket there, that's for a faux tea bag that I made on another video, which I just decorated with that bit from the inspiration kit. Little fairy in there. And then this is a tissue, part of a tissue box, which I did the blue sky prompt, I think it was, and I made up a few little whimsical houses. So this is from packaging from a toilet roll, packaging. They come in paper these days. This is from the oranges. The green's also from there, so blue and green the packaging. And then these bottom bits are from the inspiration kit, which I just quickly sort of drew some doors and windows on. And these bits are from the petal fake kit. And then I've got a bit of brown paper that I twisted for the tree trunk. And where I cut that bird out of the book, that little bit of scrap was from there, so I made the green tree top. And then I've decorated this page with a flap from a tissue box there. To make a pocket. I've got some tahini this week, and it came with this lovely Moroccan design on it on the top, and that was the bit that sealed it. So I took that off and thought I'd add it in there. So that's that, and that's the back of it, and that's the rainbow tissue box. So I've joined two sections, covered it with a bit of the inspiration pack there and a bit there to make the back of it, and that's where I've stitched it in there. So there we are, that's where we are for now. I've still got the sun shadow press sleeve, which is currently at home in the garden. We didn't get much sun today, it's come out this evening, so hopefully I'll reveal that tomorrow if I get a chance, or the day after. Cool water, snip word, calm heart, and then I'll do another flip through at the end. I'm also running this alongside the small art journal, 2-minute journal that I call it. I did a video on that yesterday, just to show you that, because a few of the prompts I've done second page prompts in there, and also for the plant press leaf garden find, I also did a page in there on that as well. So that's it for now. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Tonight I'm at the river, and this is where I am. That's Edison Bridge. The water's very low today. Very low. Look at that. It's almost like a beach, isn't it? A rocky one, admittedly. Although they are actually pebbles, but it just looks like rocks from here. And I love that bit over there because there's rocks and you can hear the water. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that flick through, despite the poor lighting. And I'll be back in a couple of days with another one, hopefully. Okay, bye for now.